good. Can you hear me okay back there? Can you hear me okay?
Even though I know some.
No, I don't think so.
For the men? I know for the men.
Can you all hear me back there?
No, they're not listening.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna get started. I'm Teresa Bullen, and I'm the Tracht from G.T.E.V Gauverband. Thank you for coming. I saw this workshop at the 25th Gauverband in Milwaukee in 2015, and it was given by two of my favorite people, Vroni Mazinger and Karen Dean Kraft. And Vroni is the seamstress owner, daughter of Tracht and Pullman in Munich. So she gave this, and it was what to wear when. And it's pretty much self-explanatory, so I'm just going to kind of go through the slideshow, but I have a little bit further information for you. But it's just meant to be a guide for your club. It's not the God-given, this is the end and everything. It's just meant to be a guide.
Well, then I'm leaving.
Okay.
Everybody clap.
My gosh, look at all the men.
We'd like to be dressed probably.
There are seats up here. There's 3 seats here. There's seats
3
all
up,
out.
4 up here.
Seats up here.
There, the issue of what is correct or echt Tracht is important, but it also has become somewhat controversial here in North America. And there's been a wave of varieties improving their Tracht to conform with their respective regions, such as Miesbach and Chiemgau, Ingau, Ammergau, within Bavaria and Tyrol. And most of these pictures are taken from the Tracht iron. In this presentation, she talked about the geographic regions, the differences between Volkstracht and Gebirgstracht. Tracht tells a story, Tracht has a history, the etiquette of Tracht, and where there are problems. There's also a video on how to pin a shawl if you want to stay for that at the end. These are the regions. They are in valleys, rivers, forest, and mountain areas. I know that my Verein has in our bylaws that we are supposed to be Miesbach, but as I have learned over the years, some of we're just kind of a combination of a whole bunch of them. We're not any one particular group. And these are, you can see where München is and Miesbach. This is the Gebirgstracht from Miesbacher. And she focused mostly on this one, but you'll see more in her pictures. The interesting thing is that this one has the long sleeves, and I believe those sleeves are removable.
Only if you get
Only
made up.
If you get them made up.
Only
Okay.
It's not a normal thing. We acclimate to the California weather.
Yeah, and we have to because we don't have the snow and the cold weather. Unless we go to Big Bear.
The short sleeves actually do fit with a different Tracht.
Different levels.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean there is another kind of Tracht where the short sleeves are appropriate.
This is the Werdenfelser, and if you notice that it's very similar to the Miesbach. The girl on the left is wearing Haupttracht, and the girl on the right is wearing the Festtracht, and of course the man in the middle,
He's halfway.
he's Festtracht. Chiemgauer, very colorful and different pinning of the shawl down here on the left, right-hand side.
What's the difference between the shiny leather and the regular leather?
I will have to find out for you.
The shiny leather of the Lederhosen,
Yeah.
those are Laponia Lederhosen, so those are meant primarily for Schuhplattling because they produce a crisper, more uniform sound when you are dancing, as opposed to Lederhosen that is handgestickt with hand embroidery, which in the Chiemgau is one exclusively for festive occasions and not for dancing.
Thank you.
So you have to have two pair of lederhosen then?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
If your wife can have 7 dirhams.
Each day one.
This is Allgauer. Now, my Vereins Tracht looks more like the Allgauer. And I know Buffalo Edelweiss looks more like that too. This is the difference between the Gewürztrakth and the Volkstracht. Gewürztrakth is mountainous regions and the Volkstracht is in the city. And most of the time we all wear the meters, either the stiff or the soft. Volkstracht from Multal and Schwaben. That hat looks from Schwaben and looks like she's wearing an anvil on her head, I'm sorry.
It does. I was thinking the same thing.
Doesn't look very,
Beautiful anvil.
it is, yeah. Doesn't look very comfortable though. And Amersay. And I was remarking, the gentleman on the right-hand side here looks like he is a pilgrim.
Yeah, right.
And the little boys
So,
in red.
Teresa, how those hats that the grown ladies are wearing, how are those different?
That's
The
fur.
older ladies.
That's fur. Those are fur hats.
It's beaver fur, and it's usually Verona that are on a lake because they would have been trapping the beaver.
That's why I'm asking.
asking.
I'm just putting the question out there so that everybody
Prompting
know.
It's-
Prompting the
Yeah, it's
question.
also something which is more specific to that region for Ammersee and Werdenfelserland for women of that age.
And this is very fancy because obviously it's city people.
So the two women in the front with the very elaborate, it looks like that's their blouse sleeves.
Yep.
Yes, yes, those are the blouse sleeves.
And why is that? Because they're very rich and they can afford a lot of fabric.
Look, it's
Or Biedermeier.
Pardon?
Biedermeier.
Biedermeier
But I mean, that would be a display of wealth, is when you can afford to
Yeah.
have more of this luxurious fabrics in your clothing.
Exactly.
Well, but people in the cities typically did enjoy more abundance than the
Sure.
simple folk in the countryside.
Well, that's why they lived in the cities.
Exactly.
They probably had estates out in the country as well.
They're so smart. You learned that about
Dachau. Again, very colorful. I like the socks on these older ladies on the left-hand side.
Point out, Teresa, point out the boots that the guys are
The
wearing.
boots, yes.
The boots are called, those are called Faltenstiefel, because Falten, of course, are folds. If you look down at the base of the boot, you'll see all these folds in the boot. That's very typical for Dachau.
Unique for
Interesting.
Yeah.
Makes
There's
it
a whole
easier for
Dachau on top.
walking, or
Did it?
make it easier for walking? Those
That's,
folds?
it's just the style. I don't have a pair, so I can't really say whether or not it's comfortable. Maybe it pinches you every time you take a step.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, I'm like,
Hungarian and that kind of a style.
You guys, there's 5 seats up here. You guys wanna sit?
Unterfranken? This looks very Hungarian with all the colors.
And also keep in mind that the transportation routes were primarily along the Donau, the Danube, took a lot of those styles that we would find in places like Hungary northwards towards Germany, so you do have some influence.
They also, the fact that those are all regional kingdoms long ago.
Mhm.
People were wearing
Right.
regional clothing,
Yeah,
and so that's why the clothes, I mean, in Franconia, even if you talk to people today, they will say they're not Bavarian, they're Franken.
yeah, those are Franken.
Those are Franken people, those are not Bavarians. Now, politically, there's a political boundary today, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
they're considered
political,
Bavarians. But culturally?
Culturally, no, because
Linguistically? No.
because originally the Bavarian boundaries did not include Franken,
Nope, it
No.
did not. And
and it did not include Schwaben,
Yeah,
and
don't
those
talk
areas
about-
came later.
Nope,
So you
boundary
had-
ends at the river.
You had Oberbayern, Niederbayern, and Oberpfalz, those three areas.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Over Mittelfranken.
yeah.
Even
Is
Pfalz
that,
was.
yeah?
Some
Ja.
Pfalz.
Ja,
Some
Pfalz.
Pfalzer Bayern.
Ja,
Ich weiß nicht.
ja, Oberpfalz aber schon, ja.
Unterfranken auch noch.
The one thing that I wanted to point out in this picture is that everybody wears their hair up. We don't wear our hair down in ponytails or long in our faces and stuff. Yeah, Jess.
You
That
go
wasn't
from
a
one,
dig at
from
all there,
one,
Jessica.
one door to
Well,
the next,
it's
they have a
actually
little
my
ribbon,
fault
they have a
because I
different
didn't wear
dialect.
Yeah.
the
Different
hairpins.
one, it was in the mouth.
Honey,
I have
room
seen
726.
Oh, I have them with me, but they're in
That's right.
the trunk of the car right now.
Die komt
Ask-
er over
ask
Kreuz
Megan
über das
State
Kreuz
to do your hair.
mit
Oh, there you go.
Unterfranken.
Unterfranken, ja, they look so anders.
And then, of course, the younger girls wear the crowns.
Gorgeous.
Yeah,
Now, are those,
they're little
is it
princesses.
made out of wire,
Same
the
as-
crowns?
Bayern, so
Good
over
gold
Bayern.
thread.
Just gold
I
thread?
think, yeah, I think it's like a
Gold thread.
gold weaving and that,
Aber Schwaben. Sprachlichen gut ja alle anders.
with jewels put in with it. And then, of course, our Tracht tells stories, whether you're married ladies wear the shawl.
Christian, that's a shock.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got it.
And I don't know, do the gentlemen ever change anything?
No.
So they always look like they're single and ready to mingle, right?
On the wedding day.
They're always free.
It's not,
Yeah.
they don't have the white wedding dresses. They wear this black dress. And this is special wears
Got one right
And you wear this for your wedding and you don't have any dust afterwards.
That's a shout.
So
That's a
it's
shout.
buffalo.
What that lady's wearing.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
It's a dress.
The whole thing.
She can't just do it with a shirt.
That's also,
Just the
It's
skirt.
not made with the
you
hair.
can point out, Teresa, you point
Well,
out the
it
style of the
isn't-
hat.
Yes, the style of the hat as
That's
well.
a Schnurrhut. So it's usually gold threaded, which is costly.
I actually priced it out recently. I went to Cook Brown and they said that to make just the hat itself, I think was 300 euros. to
Yeah,
have this hat made
and then you
for
have
me.
the gold Schnurr.
But the gold cording was a separate purchase.
Mhm.
And the separate purchase for this gold cording, I think they said like, the gold cording I saw, I think was around 700 euros.
Yeah.
So putting both the cord and the hat together was 1,000 euros,
Just for the hat.
just for the hat.
Don't get married.
Well,
Could it also
if
be-
you think about it, when women get married, they buy a dress, anywhere, tens of thousands of dollars sometimes, and they only wear it once.
Yes, people-
This lady will wear that hat the rest of her life.
There you go.
And the
You
dress.
can justify it.
Yeah, it doesn't sound so expensive if you think about it that way.
And you pass it down to your daughter and your
Yeah.
granddaughter.
Right. Not that I have one,
No,
or
that's,
plan
and
to.
that's the idea. These things actually last longer than a generation. So if you
Yes.
look at Tracht for both men and women and some of the more costlier items, if it's something that's hand embroidered with peacock feather quill, that goes on to the son, because those things are obviously thousands of dollars.
Well, my granddaughter has my mother's hat,
Yeah.
and that was not a new hat when my mother got it. It's an antique now, because I'm sure it's 100 years old.
Yeah.
And Cara still wears it. And happily so. The Tracht also shows where you participate in your family. You see Oma and Opa, and then I would assume this is Mama and Papa over here on the right-hand side, and the children in the middle. So there's 3 generations.
That's Amaze.
Amazon?
That's Amaze of Tracht. Yeah.
Yeah.
Decent.
This looks like Miesbach.
Yep.
Now, why is the woman in the center, why is her skirt significantly shorter than the other 2 ladies? And she
Probably
doesn't look
single.
from the picture.
Well, I think she's single and,
That much
Yeah,
shorter.
she's
and young.
She wants to be young.
Oh, it's fancy.
Yeah, right.
She knows how to use them.
And it is a little bit
Learn the
short
song or
anyway.
something.
It should be what, a Mossberg from the floor in your
Yeah,
dancing shoes.
across the floor.
Yeah, and that's a little short for that.
And what the lady on just to the left is wearing is a Kirchgewand.
Yeah.
That's what you would wear to church.
Church.
It's not to wear for a fest, it's not to wear for a wedding.
It's
You can
Sunday,
wear- you can wear for-
Sunday
Yeah,
dress.
it's Sunday dress.
And then the one on the far right.
And then the far right is a shawl.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you wear to a fest.
And she looks like she's newly married. I was saying that she doesn't even look old enough to be married, but newly married. So she's not dancing anymore. And here you can see all the generations. There's like 3 generations in this picture.
And then green bodice is up.
She doesn't look very happy there in the parade. I mean,
Their skirts are all down to their ankles. all-
pretty much,
Yeah.
pretty much. And then, of course, if you're with child, they have Tracht for that too. And then if you're like me, a widow, I should be in black, I suppose.
I see black on the top, that's good enough.
And again, the pilgrim look on the gentleman, I'm sorry, that long jacket just doesn't, and the tri-corner hat.
That is, yeah, that's Franken.
Yeah.
He's a red and white thing in his
Yeah.
lapel.
And then, of course, the working.
Which of the 3 girls is the chimney sweep?
I don't think any one of them, because they have spades
They
in
have
their
a short
hand.
shiny
That's what she said, because they're ready to take somebody's grave.
Right, so
Oh,
the,
yeah, look
the other
that
four
way.
barbers and the top pictures, the carpenter, the.
They're not a bad job anymore, chimney sweep, they.
No, die verdienen gut, they
they're
were
not
good.
bad. But
Because
start angestellte.
yeah. That's because nobody wants to, yeah.
Okay, and your chains, and just like with the hat, it shows how wealthy you are with as much chain as you can get in those hooks, and as much coinage as you can put on them, and this beautiful necklace down here at the bottom, that is a ketta, and it is supposed to be like Kathy's, tight on the throat rather than hanging down like mine is.
It's originally, they're originally made that way to hide the goiter.
The goiter?
Yeah, because the women had suffered from goiter, and so it was originally made to hide the goiter.
Oh, interesting.
Chance that you got something under there you want to hide?
You're deficient hiding well.
And then, of course, when it gets really cold, they put warmer wool outfits on.
Look at that guy's cape, that's a long cape.
Yeah, it sure is.
How long?
He's not gonna be cold, is he? And then, of course, your truck tells you what occasion you're participating in also. It's always nice when you go to a Gauverband and you see all the Tracht on Saturday night, all the fest Tracht. I just get goosebumps and tears in my eyes because it's just so beautiful. And we know how the clothing looked from the drawings by artists and the commissioned historians, and of course the paintings in the churches. And Tracht has history. Before 1770 or 1780, there were strict rules for the servants and workers. Of course, the people who hired the servants wouldn't wear the same thing. And then Maximilian II issued an edict. And out of this grew the action of the Bavarian people to preserve their Tracht. This is obviously a hunting party, wearing their lederhosen and their stutzen, and this gentleman, I think this gentleman on the very right-hand side is King Leopold. He lived from 1821 to 1912, and he was the ruler of Bavaria from 1886 to his death in 1912. He came to the throne after King Ludwig II. I like the dog. And then with the history of Tracht, in 1883, Joseph Vogel founded the first Trachtenverein in Weidersdorf, specifically to preserve the lederhosen and Tracht. The popularity of lederhosen in Bavaria had dropped sharply in the 19th century, so they began to consider they were considered as uncultured peasants' clothing and was not fitting for modern city dwellers. However, in the 1880s, a resurgence set in, and several clubs were founded in Munich and other large cities devoted to preserving the traditional rural clothing styles. The conception of lederhosen as a quintessentially Bavarian garment that is worn at festive occasions rather than just at work dates largely from this time. And then, of course, it moved into the music and dance and language, all creating a uniformity. And then, of course, with local seamstresses and tailors, that it all started to look the same. And then 7 years before Weidersdorf, Berlin had a Trachtenverein, which was kind of interesting.
Still around today or no?
Yeah, there's several Trachtenvereins in Berlin. And I think the reason that the Tracht is found in Brazil and Australia is from the migration of immigrants from Germany right after World War II. And there are quite a few people that moved to Australia from Austria. And of course, everybody thought of Miesbach Tracht when they started their vereins here in the U.S. in the 20s and 30s. And then there's many levels of Tracht, which is worn, depends on the occasion as well as the time of the year. And the differences are most apparent in the ladies because the men have it so easy. They just wear the same thing all the time, right?
You changed the shirt.
Not really. They wear different shirts and they wear different ties.
Thank you for that.
My selection was a big job.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Sorry. That's all right. Well, I'll listen in. And the Tracht has etiquette.
Say hi to Hemingway.
Hi, Hemingway. And the differences between the gowns that you see there, the feathers.
That's all Ingau.
Always just.
What was that?
Those are all Ingau you have.
Ingau? Those were all of them?
Ingau, yeah. But Ingau has a variety, anyway. But
Where did I go?
she's going forward.
Yeah.
But if you go back,
Oh, I'm trying to. Where am I going, Jess? There we go. Okay, Fest Tracht or Full Tracht is for Gauverband Mass, big church occasions, holidays, weddings, christenings, confirmations, Wallfahrt, which is a pilgrimage, and official receptions. I went way back, didn't I? And notice the difference between the Miesbach shawl and apron made of silk. And a different style of hat, too. The cuties. It's always fun to see the kids in their Tracht and when the little boys are running around and their shirts are hanging out. It's precious. And I know within my own group, we do have black aprons, black shawls. The men will wear the trousers rather than the lederhosen for a funeral. And we also have armbands and black ties. And never a feather or gumps or in your hat. And jewelry, yes. We wear black ribbon in our meters. No hat adornment. The only thing that we keep on our hats are membership pins. We wear those on our hat. And no dancing. Here's Brony wearing her Haupttracht for a Preisplattln or less festive occasions and performances. She has her hat on and flowers for this. Don't always do that, I don't think. It's without the Spencer, shawl, and schmeisel. Wearing a hat, strict interpretation, flowers depend on the occasion. And the man, same as Festracht. Tanzgewand. The difference between Tracht, which translates to costume, and Gewand translates to outfit. It's kind of one and the same, so I guess it's like, you know. So last night we would have worn a Tanzgewand, and today we would wear more the Haupttracht or Festracht. So you wear a different apron with a Tanzgewand, no hat, no flowers. And the men are allowed to wear a different vest, like those really pretty velvet vests that they're wearing with all the big buttons. Some of our pretty North American ladies. I see Kathy in there. It's subtle but important differences. And this is one Verein with the same Tanzgewand and matching. And then the Vereinsdirndl. I wore Gauverband Vereinsdirndl last night. It was the blue with the smock sleeve and our striped skirt and blue apron. One piece or two piece dirndl with a dance skirt. Traditional, conservative bodice cut in fabric colors. White blouse, not always. No hat, buttons, no zipper. And the reason that there's no zipper is because the zipper was invented by Elias Howe in 1851 here in the United States. So it wouldn't have been in Europe. I know back in the 60s and 70s, there were a lot of dirndls with zippers. And aprons are typically the same among ladies. And this, I think, would be like for every day, or going to the Wirt's house. Internal celebrations, birthdays, the beer garden, and just because. What Roni did stress was that we avoid the Edelweiss, Hirsch, and woodland seeds. You don't usually see that in the traditional clothing. I know I have an Edelweiss necklace and matching earrings that I will wear with, for performances. I also have a blue Enzion necklace and earrings. I usually just wear those for performances. Lovely ladies.
It was a board meeting, we had a board meeting. I recognize most of them, yeah.
Yeah, Karen Deancraft is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th person from the right-hand side
No.
They're with it.
with the blue, yes.
At the other show.
The little lady with the blue apron and shawl. And then Kathy's on this side with Renee LaCourse, Tom LaCourse's sister. This looks like it's supposed to be Christmas. It looks like Christmas wrapping to me, but they've got sandals on, so.
No, it's the first
That's
day
the
of
first day of
school.
school.
First day of school?
Yeah, they have the shul treat today, they get a school bag, you know.
Okay.
So are those, the girls are all wearing the exact same, is that just within that family, or would that
It's
be
probably the same family,
the
yeah.
uniform?
It was the curtains we cut down.
My mother did that when I was little, and that was one of my
Maureen
favorite.
has all the grapes, yeah.
So this girl's having the first day of school, the one with the cone.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
that's why they're all dressed up to go to school, it's the first day of the school starting. But the one with the cone is starting first grade.
But it also says underneath, the little one was the first day of kindergarten for her.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
Ah,
does
Yeah.
it say die Schule geht on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good, yeah, I can see it.
But the cone is specific for first grade.
Yeah.
First day of
Always first
Candy
day
to
of school.
sweeten the
the
separation.
pain of school.
Yes.
So that's her.
Lots of erasers
To
too.
G.T.E.V, or does she give it to the teacher?
No, the parents make it to give to the child.
Yeah.
Oh,
It has pencils.
There's all
Yeah,
kinds of
and
little-
that is standard everywhere in Germany, it's not specific to Bavaria.
Well, the dad's side is Canada. I hope she has a good day.
We've got Ashley's student teachers.
School supplies too.
In Bavaria,
So
they
there's
might,
no supplies as well.
in Bavaria, there might be a beer in there as well for the kids.
For the dad to make it through the day.
Okay, so with the Borisches Gewand or the Beer Gewand, the colors and fabrics of choice are the wearer has the choice of the colors, but they're more traditional anyway. And men can wear the colored shirts or white, but white on Sunday only. And men do not need to wear a tie, but they may wear a straw hat, like we saw last night.
Would you say that again?
Now,
But
you
they
can
have
read.
straw hat. He just wants to be given permission to take his tie off, and we're not letting him do that.
Only if you're wearing a straw hat.
It's a straw hat.
If you get like Klaus's straw hat, then you can take your tie off.
Fritz has a straw hat?
We're in LA Dodgers
I
here.
bring straw hats. All ladies should have straw hats.
We're not just at the beer garden, Rudy. We're celebrating a Bezirksfest. So. The later husbands for dancing, Tracht, to meetings, trousers are for Tracht, or to go to meetings or in colder weather. Or you can also wear your blue toes if they fit. Okay. A lot of no-nos that we've seen. We've seen bangs under a hat. That's a no-no. Always wear the hair up in a bun or a braid. Hairpiece if the hair is short. I've got my braid in as well as my little ponytail. No makeup or nail polish. I don't go out of the house without a little mascara. Sorry. And I don't wear nail polish because my nails don't grow that much anyway, so. And no modern jewelry, like my wristwatch. And I guess this Edelweiss earring over here on the right-hand side and the extra studs, those are no-nos too.
Even so the Edelweiss earring would be a no-no.
No.
No, just the extra studs.
Just the extra studs, yeah.
Yeah.
You can wear the Edelweiss.
Use your discretion, don't cover yourself.
It's the stud.
No, I just,
And you can't wear any, the Edelweiss can't be plastic, you can't wear anything plastic.
Yeah, it should be a stainless, sterling silver or gold, something of a more precious metal type thing. No wristwatches. Men, hair off the collar.
What?
And no bangs. Jonathan? Ladies, no hat with the soft meter.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And Halskette, which we talked about a little earlier, should be up on the throat
No. Oh, yes.
and not hanging down like mine is.
No, the Halskette is.
I'm a good example of what not to do.
Yeah, Halskette.
This is
Halskette is
appropriate. And this is only
Yeah.
safety.
Yeah, the Halskette does hang, and
Yeah.
the Halskette is the one up.
Is the one that's like a.
But she used the Halskette as well as,
She just saying don't have it like, don't have it hanging.
hanging down,
Okay.
yeah.
I think I can get my
Hanging out in here.
And my Farine, we do have our skirts too short. We are in the process of making new skirts, which means that we have to make new aprons.
oh.
With a shot.
So anybody
Means a
wants
lot
to
of
buy
some
one some
information.
short aprons, give her a call.
Use Tracht booth.
Gauvefest, we're aiming towards Gauvefest to have new skirts and aprons. And you want to make sure that your apron, I believe, is like an inch shorter than your skirt. Yeah. Yeah. Between the lower ribbon and the hem of the skirt. Slip problems. Either not wearing them, or they're too long or too short. And that does affect the bell of the skirt. I don't know if you noticed on some of the drayers today, some of their skirts were a little wobbly. And that probably had to do more with their petticoat or their slip than their drain.
That's why mine as well.
Tell the judge.
It wasn't the snaps this morning?
Whoa.
No, that probably just helped. And then, of course, our Spitzhose and our must.
Does everybody agree on that?
Bluebirds are a must.
Everybody
Forget
Yeah.
them, ask,
Yeah.
tell your partner.
There seems to be a little bit of leeway.
Well, as I said in the very beginning,
And Salvador
this is
Sal-
just a guide for your Farine, and your Farine needs to agree on everything. It's not, this is not the absolute rule. This is just a
We'll come
guideline.
down and strike us.
That's
Look
right.
at the outlook. You are wearing this sucker. I thought that was like in the fire.
Jamie, not talking?
Knee socks on older ladies. I'm sorry, it just doesn't look right.
It doesn't look right on me.
I don't like knee socks on ladies. Thighs, your thigh socks, if your nylons go up to your hot thigh because you can't see them under your Spitzhosen or your bloomers, that works.
Fine,
It works.
totally fine.
That works, yes.
It works a lot.
But knee socks are for girls, little girls.
I've been in the company of men who have come from Bavaria to visit me here, and we've been at performances, and the women are spinning, and then they see these knee socks, and honest to God, the men were shocked and embarrassed. Because they were looking at something that they knew they shouldn't be looking at.
Yeah. Bearskin.
Bearskin.
It was like, they weren't comfortable. They were shocked and embarrassed, they were uncomfortable.
I believe it. And of course, we're supposed to wear the knitted stockings, but I can't afford them. So I wear tights, white tights. I'm sure, they breathe. They breathe. And no saggy stockings. I'm guilty of that occasionally. Okay. We've all seen this one. The hankies hanging out of the pockets. That just looks like they forgot to tuck it in.
No rolled up sleeves.
And no rolled up sleeves. However,
Well.
as I've said before, Our Verein wears our sleeves, the guys wear the sleeves rolled up, and that's their decision, and that's how they want to do it.
It's okay to dance.
And also remember,
And it's all right for
yeah,
dancing, yeah.
that this is representative probably of Isagao, where Brony, okay, that's where her Verein is a member of.
Right.
And so these would be guidelines specifically for that Gauverband. And
Yeah.
every Gauverband is different. If you go to Chiemgau Alpen Verband, sleeves are always up,
Yeah.
and they are never down. So
When you think logically about it though, what man is gonna paddle and get dirty with his sleeves rubbing against his pants or whatever
Oh,
they're
you'd
doing?
be surprised
No.
how many do.
No, I
Yeah.
know, but logically when you think of it, that's why it makes sense.
yeah, but not everything not all the rules were developed with logic in mind. And so some of it basically is the impression that look, that creates.
But that's fest rock, right?
Yeah.
Going to church, you wear your jacket, your sleeves are
Sure.
down.
Well, yeah, because you can't have them up if you have your yoke on.
Well, it depends on who you are. Talk to Tom.
Yeah.
No wristwatch, of course, and hair off the collar. Women must have nice hats for men. The jewelry, just a short guide. There's the crocetta. Should be fitted around the neck, not hanging down. And then the black velvet band, like Brenda has. Brenda has it? Yeah. Shawl pins, 2 in the front, 1 in the back. And then, of course, the meter chain. And they're always silver or stainless steel. Pretty earrings. Nice stecker. Must have for men your vest chain and your tie pin. I guess we've gotten away from the bone to hold the ties.
Yeah, sure. That was deer horn.
Yeah, the deer horn, yeah. I guess we've gotten away from those a little bit.
But Klaus has one, kind of.
Well,
It's no fun.
Yeah, but this is specifically for this kind of a tie.
Right.
Because you can't do it with a pin. But the Hirschhorn, the deer horn, I mean, I was part of a group, we wore those back in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
I have
It
one.
depends on what style tie you have.
Yeah.
Because you can't use the ring on the crocheted ties.
Right.
And that's where the big difference.
Well,
of
I know my dad and the group from Edelweiss Buffalo, that they're still wearing those.
Mm-hmm. But again, it
And
has,
it just depends on the
it
group.
depends on the kind of a tie. If you're
Yes.
wearing something with Rudy, which is gehäkelt, and gehäkelt is crocheted, then
Yeah.
it has to be that style.
Or if you're wearing the table napkin. That's where you
You have
would
a
wear
schlupfer.
the.
It has to be a schlupfer, yeah,
Yeah.
it has to be a ring.
Yeah. Nice things for gentlemen. Pocket watch, yes, pocket watch and not a wristwatch. Hat ornaments. The shirt chain. The knives are kind of important.
Mm-hmm.
You all have different kind of handles on the knives.
No. I didn't like them in the planes.
No, you do have to be careful, you have to check that.
Mm-hmm. Little silver buttons.
Okay, there is a short video if you want to see how to pin a linen shawl. Brony does it. We can do that for you. And then if you're interested in keeping track, having these kinds of lists,
Oh, look at that.
you can check with Kathy Fleschke. She has shared this.
Jenna does that too. That's what our book, that's what I was talking about earlier. I keep my handbook on my dresser. And when Fritz tells us, we're going to perform here and we're going to wear whatever level, I open it to that page and get dressed with my eye on the book.
That's interesting. Huh.
We have the same basic setup. And then she also has a list of what the women need based on order you should purchase it in. It's like you started start with this and move it, you know.
Oh, that's nice, yeah.
One thing Roni had suggested, which I haven't gotten around to do yet, is we should take a picture of, okay, this is Fest Tracht, and you've got that list, and this is it. This is what you should look like when you're done. Doesn't mean that's the way people are gonna show up, but
Do you have a before and after?
Yeah.
The goal picture.
And again, you tailor that to your group. You don't have to follow this one. This is a guideline. It's not necessarily what your group needs to do, but use it as a guideline. And if you need to, you can contact Kathy or Roni. And it is on the website. This is where I got it from. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was the apron ties. Which side of the apron denotes your marital status? Yeah.
Both sides denote.
So the dirndl apron bow is on the right side for women who are taken or married.
Married, not just dating.
Not just dating.
Not just dating.
They're either engaged or they're married.
Married.
Yes, that's on the right-hand side.
The right-hand side or?
The girl's right-hand side.
If it's on their right hip, it is wrong. You do not
If it's on the left-hand side, she's single. And
Because now if you rather dance with them, and you slide in your hand and you catch on the bow, she's single.
Yeah.
So if the bow's here and you're not catching on her, then spin her back off
Then,
again.
yeah.
So,
Just keep going.
ago when we started sewing our own aprons in our club, Stephanie made an apron for herself, and she didn't do the ties properly, and so she made the apron so that it was tied
On the
on the
left
left
side.
side. And we were in Bavaria at an event, and she was out there dancing with Fritz, and this woman from behind me, maybe an older man, comes and goes, "Is she married?" She was what, 19 at the time. He's like, "Is she married?"
I hope he just lied and said, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, she
But
is.
he recognized
Yeah.
it. Like the men, they know what they're looking for, they're gonna recognize it.
Yeah. I know them too. They were looking for
Was it the guy saying?
It wasn't all, it wasn't man, like.
Did he want to hit on her or something?
Sometimes
Yeah.
He's just checking out to see if that was her husband.
Yeah, you just have to
Yes, you know what I mean? And they look at it, and the guy, if he sees the ties on the side, he's not even gonna bother.
Bother, sure. But, and if it's tied in the back, in the middle, they're widowed like me.
They're rarely happen.
Or they're.
What if your
Oh,
wife
well,
is,
yeah.
what if your wife is just mad at you that day?
She'll tie it back.
Around your neck.
You're a dead man.
That gets foreshadow.
So,
Really?
well,
Yeah.
I wanted to tell them if I can. Sure.
Did anyone want to see that video of the shawl pinning? Do we need to see the shawl pinning? White shawl pinning?
Or maybe I don't know. Oh, yeah, we would totally go together. I can't.
Sorry, you'll have to go to the website to see the shawl pinning. Thank you for coming.
These are.